Before we start this episode, here's a quick preview of what's coming. Want to build your own business but don't know where to start? Hear from fellow young entrepreneurs and learn how they turn their passions into profit in this show from PragerU, The Hustle. Enjoy the rest of our free videos for all ages when you subscribe at PragerU.com.
What happens when you take a love of sneakers, a passion for deal making, and $300 in startup capital? You get Denver SNKRS LLC.
My name's Garrett Eisenman. I'm 16 years old. I just finished my junior year, and I currently run Denver SNKRS LLC as my main business.
In this episode of The Hustle, you'll learn how Garrett built his company. How did he do it? By crafting a strong reputation, honing his skills, and managing expenses to keep his business growing.
This all started for me when I was about 12 years old, and my dad bought me my first pair of sneakers for $85 to $90, and I just thought that was insane to spend on a pair of sneakers. So I just became fascinated with all these sneakers and why they went for so much money.
What's the record for the most expensive pair of shoes ever sold?
It's these one-of-one sample Nike Yeezys, which is Kanye West's brand, which sold at auction for over $1.6 million.
Denver SNKRS LLC is a sneaker resale company. Garrett buys and then resells sneakers for a profit. It isn't easy because the market for sneakers is very competitive.
There are often these sneaker conventions where a lot of these sneaker enthusiasts all meet up to buy, sell, and trade their sneakers. There's often a lot of replica sneakers, which I found how difficult and frustrating it was to purchase these authentic sneakers, make sure you're not getting scammed. From this, I was talking to other sneaker enthusiasts in the Denver area and realized that this was an ongoing problem. So I decided to make my own brand to sell shoes in the Denver area, and it's grown worldwide now.
So how did Garrett get his startup capital, which is the money it takes to start a new business venture? Well, he started by working another job and saving up.
I found there was money in almost everything. There's money in candy that people are buying from the school. There's money in the grass outside of your house. I started a summer lawn mowing job to make money when I was 12 years old just to buy sneakers for myself. I first started with $340, and with this $340, I bought 2 shoes, and I made $5 on each of those pairs of shoes.
Garrett continued to buy and sell sneakers at conventions, but because he was so young, some people didn't take him very seriously.
As they see this 14-year-old kid walking around with $3,000 shoes, they started to get interested, and they're like, how is this kid getting these shoes?
Garrett had to build his reputation and the reputation of Denver sneakers.
As I started talking to these people, they realized I knew what I was talking about, and they kind of appreciated me more. A lot of people were judging me without even talking to me.
Your reputation is the opinion that people in general have about you. In business, your reputation can mean the difference between success and failure. And having a good reputation for honesty and experience can set a person apart from the competition.
As I started to begin doing this, it was very difficult to authenticate these for myself, as I haven't seen these sneakers before. So I got scammed for replica sneakers, claiming to be authentic. So I've lost money that way. I've gotten things stolen. So just knowing the market value off the top of your head, I know the market value for almost any shoe. I know how to authenticate them. I know how to value the condition. So as I kind of developed my reputation, then people started walking up to me at all these sneaker conventions that I've never met before. They're like, "You're Garrett, right? You're Garrett." It puts me ahead of a lot of the other people in this industry.
So how did Garrett build his reputation? By becoming an expert in shoes. Check this out.
All right, Aldo, so I got 2 pairs of shoes here. This is the Air Jordan 1. One pair of these is authentic and one pair of these is a replica. So you can take a look at them and you tell me what you think.
These are the real ones.
These are the fake ones.
Oh. So why? Why are these the fake ones? To me, like, the leather on these felt a little weird. These felt maybe a little bit more worn.
One thing that a lot of people look at when authenticating these Jordan 1 models is Nike Air logo is supposed to be sewn into the shoe, and as you can see, they used ink. This is supposed to be reflective, as you can see in the light. This is just white paint. They say the back is shaped like an hourglass.
This is all pretty intense, and if you don't have the knowledge like you do, you could get scammed out of a good amount of money.
Definitely. These sneakers go for about $2,000, so I'm sure if you saw these, you would pay the $2,000. Like,
I literally would have paid
Yeah,
the $2,000.
As Garrett's reputation as an expert and as an honest businessman continued to grow, so did his business.
Personally, the most expensive pair of shoes that I've sold is called the Freddy Krueger Nike SBs. I sold those for $26,500. The Back to the Future Nike Air Mags, those I sold within 30 minutes of buying them, and I made $3,000 on those because I bought those for $10,000 and sold them for $13,000.
What are some of the other challenges that you face being such a young entrepreneur?
There's a lot of things still to this day. I'm trying to make new accounts, that you have to be 18 years old. So I either need my parent to co-sign it or need them to sign me up for it completely. Starting in 2020, we started in about June, and in 9 months from 2020 is when I made my first $50,000 in revenue. In 2021, we did over 150,000. In 2022, we did almost about 400,000. And in 2023, we're projected about $700,000.
Whoa, that is a lot of money in a very short period of time. The money that Garrett had coming into the business is known as his gross revenue. But remember, Garrett also had to buy shoes first in order to resell them. The cost to buy the shoes is known as his expense. When you subtract your expenses from your gross revenue, you get net revenue, your profit. Garrett's profit over the 3 years was about $76,000.
I can't imagine buying an expensive pair of shoes like this and then just not wearing them. It's like buying a Ferrari or buying a supercar and then never driving it.
I really appreciate these sneakers almost as a piece of art. So it really pains me to wear them because the value depreciates so much when the condition goes down. So I don't really wear expensive shoes for myself. I've never actually spent more than $200 on a personal pair of shoes.
Sometimes the sneakers that Garrett buys are in need of refurbishing work. They aren't up to the standards that Garrett would like, so he makes sure they are cleaned and repaired before he resells them.
These right here would need something called a sole swap. We take another Air Jordan 5 that has the same midsole. You actually take the whole upper of the shoe off and resew it into the new midsole that makes it ready to be worn again. A lot of those shoes that people are paying top dollar for, they're not even able to wear because they're so old. If they wore them, the entire shoe would just fall apart.
Garrett realized that he couldn't do all of the refurbishing work himself and still run his business. So how did he solve this problem? By hiring a staff of employees to work for him.
Time spent on my business, I figured I could put on more productive things than just cleaning shoes. So I started hiring some of my friends for $20 an hour to clean these shoes.
Garrett developed a job description that included the duties and responsibilities, as well as the compensation, meaning the payment, that each of his employees would have. And then Garrett trained his employees on how to refurbish sneakers.
I had to set them through a lot of training on how to clean these the right way, make sure they're not getting damaged in this process. And it's a big change because it's another expense that the business has. I need to make sure that I'm getting my $20 an hour in value.
Hiring a staff means taking on more expenses. Garrett's always checking to make sure those expenses don't exceed the gross revenue from his shoe sales. So far, his investment is paying off. So, what did we learn today from the story of Garrett and Denver Sneakers? To be a successful entrepreneur, you must build a reputation as someone people want to do business with. And as your company grows, keep track of your business expenses to ensure they never exceed your gross revenue, or stop your business from turning a profit.
Really impressive company. What's your final piece of advice that you'd give to entrepreneurs watching?
Just stick with something you're passionate about and don't just do it to make money. Really do something that you're passionate about and want to make a change in the industry and work from there before you think about the money.
Well, you're a shining example of what it means to be an entrepreneur. We will all be watching what you do next. Really excited for it, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for watching The Hustle. To make sure you don't miss out on any more videos like this, please subscribe at PragerU.com today. And if you want to learn more about business, visit PragerUkids.com to download worksheets, lesson plans, and more.